My name is Kate. I am an admission counselor for St. Edward's University. I am one of the Dallas-Fort Worth reps and a couple other areas around Texas and the US. So I'm very familiar with St. Edward's. I went myself. I graduated in 2018 from undergrad and am now also a graduate student. So I was a student, alum, employee, student again. I check all the boxes. So please feel free to ask any questions that you have throughout. This is a 30-ish minute presentation. I realize that I talk very fast, so sometimes it's not that, but you can send a chat question, get my attention, and ask a question as we go. But yeah, let's start. So this is an overview of where this presentation goes. The general demographics and numbers of St. Ed's, what it's like to live in Austin, our academic side of things, study abroad if that's what you're interested in, our founding, and what it's like to live on campus, and then how St. Ed's preps you for graduation and being out in the real world. So starting with these numbers, the average freshman class is about 700 students, and that brings that total undergrad population to about 3,400. I always found that it was big enough that I felt like I could keep meeting new people, but I just had a consistent group, around me. I saw familiar faces walking to and from class. So it's kind of a good balance between being super huge and having total anonymity and some familiarity with, your fellow students. The average class size is about 18. I had classes ranging anywhere from 7 to 25 students. So your freshman courses tend to be the bigger ones, and then as you get into more specific upper level study, that's when the classes get a little smaller. We have over 50 areas of study, so when a student applies to St. Ed's, they apply to the entire university, and they can come in undecided and pick a major later. None of our classes are taught by TAs. They're all taught by professors, and we have a 15-to-1 student-faculty ratio, so a lot of faculty to go around for office hours, mentorship, general professoring, and whatnot. We are a very diverse campus. We have almost all 50 states and 57 countries represented. And between, in that group, 24 languages are spoken. So that was one of the things that drew me to St. Ed's, was knowing, walking to and from class, I was going to hear French, Spanish, German, Arabic, all kinds of different languages, and that was the reality. We are a Catholic institution, and also have 49 other faiths represented. So no matter your faith, if you have a faith, it's very likely you will find someone who identifies with you. We have a big focus on study abroad. It's not a requirement, but something that a lot of our students choose to do. And we have 20 partner universities that we encourage our students to start their study abroad search and, comparing programs with. And then this is an overview of sort of the fun extracurricular side of things. We have over 100 student organizations, so a lot of ways to partake in campus life. We're D2 for sports, and we have club teams as well, so 27 different teams there. We are in an urban setting. We're in Austin, but we are very defined kind of 4 edges of campus. You can really feel when you're on and off campus. And we have a lot of trees, so it can feel nice and secluded from the city. Our mascot is the goat. So we have 2 actual goats that will come to our school events, and you can take selfies with them and feed them snacks, and they're very fun. And generally, we have over 600 events every year, so there's really no way to be bored on our campus or in Austin. So when students are looking at where they're going to college, I always emphasize the area that they're going to be in. That was something that I paid close attention to. I knew I wanted to go to a school that was surrounded by a vibrant city, had a lot to offer. I didn't want to feel like I was just at a school in a field somewhere. And that was personal preference, but I know a lot of students identify with that. So Austin really checked all the boxes for me, being a very active outdoor city. There's Barton Springs, hike, bike trails. It's the center of a lot of industries. So our downtown area has got, tech, art, music, all of the different work needs that I was going to eventually want. It's just a great city to be a student in. It's a great city to intern and make connections and network in. I always advise to students as well to volunteer for different events. ACL, Austin City Limits Music Festival, and South by Southwest are great options for that. If you volunteer, you get a free badge. So I did that 2 years in a row and got to go and kind of rub elbows with a bunch of famous people. So that's a great way to get work experience, but also get to attend fun stuff in the city. So this shows you how far we are from the downtown area. We are only about 3 miles from the Capitol building, so it's very easily navigatable city. All of our students are allowed to have cars. Some schools will say, only upper level students or whatever, but freshman through senior can have a car if you'd like. Austin has a bus system. There's a bus stop right next to campus, ride share, scooter share, different kinds of ways to get around the city. So easy to, get to the downtown area if you have an internship or just want to get off campus, but also the campus feels very secluded and private away from the rest of the city. St. Ed's is really good at helping students be awarded and recognized in different ways. The best way we're known for is in the Fulbright category. Fulbright is a fully funded government scholarship and fellowship given to students either to teach English abroad for a year after graduation or to have their first year of graduate school paid for. And in the last 12 years, we've had 68 awardees, which is really impressive. Some countries only give out one Fulbright for the whole country. So globally, it gets very competitive, and we are actually the top producing institution for Fulbright among schools that give master's degrees. So pretty impressive there. To me, that just demonstrates the staff and faculty investment in student success. And if a Fulbright is not something you're interested in, there are many, many, many other ways that students can be awarded research grants, study abroad stipends. Different amounts of money on campus are reserved for giving students those opportunities. As a student, I submitted, I wanted to study the intersection of comedy and politics, and the university paid for me to go to a comedy studies program in Chicago. So really interesting, something I wouldn't have been able to do without St. Edward's funding. So if you have a pretty specific interest, St. Ed's really likes being able to help students achieve those things. Academically, we are a liberal arts institution, which means you're going to get a little bit of everything in your degree. A business student's still going to learn how to write really well and do group work. A math student might get some art. So there's a good amount of opportunity for overlap in your degree plan while still focusing on your, chosen major. Every freshman or every student has basically a team of people assigned to advise them. The first person being an academic advisor who will sit down with you at the beginning of every semester, pick classes, kind of roadmap your academic time at St. Edward's. And then in addition to that, students all have a success coach. So that is somebody who, in addition to academics, can help them with internships, extracurricular advising, goal setting. So you have kind of every base covered between those two advising representatives. Our small class sizes usually lend to very discussion heavy or discussion based classes, not as much lecture. Some classes will still have, take notes from slides, but there's a good amount of conversation that still happens. And I always found that was a great accountability system. It meant, if I was in a class of 9 students, that I needed to show up and be ready to contribute. So I found that it made my academic ownership was a little more intentional. So study abroad, like I said, is a big part of our community. We have 20 partner universities that students can sort of look at first when they're choosing where to go. With those, your financial aid, scholarship, tuition, all that goes with you. So you basically pay St. Ed's, but you're physically in another country on another campus. If none of those programs are super exciting to you, or they don't cater to the major that you're in, you can kind of go anywhere you want as long as it's a legitimate university, it's satisfying your degree requirements. We have a global engagement office that can help you find where to go and the best fit for you. Our programs range anywhere from a week to 2 weeks to a semester. Sometimes students will double up and do 2 semesters, or we have a 2-year program in Japan where you graduate in 4 years. You do 2 with us, 2 in Japan, and then you have 2 degrees when you graduate. So that one's pretty much the international list of all of it. Some of the programs, St. Ed's professors go with you, or you have a study abroad built into a class. So you take most of the class here, but there's a week or so where you do a travel program with the students in that class. If you want to double down and do an internship or work abroad, you can do that, whether it's to make international connections or work on a language. There's a lot of different opportunities there. And if you're not super keen on going abroad, but still want that global community, you're going to get that on St. Ed's campus. Like I saw earlier, there's 24 languages, 49 faiths, representation from really all over the world. We are a Holy Cross institution. We were founded by the Brothers of the Holy Cross in 1885. They actually founded Notre Dame in Indiana first, and then came down and founded St. Ed's. And their goal in founding us was basically to create a community of people who wanted to make the world a better place, sought out opportunities for restoring social justice, doing service, giving, and you'll really see that in the amount of service that our students do. Service is not a requirement on our campus, but it's a way that a lot of students feel most connected to sort of embodying our school mission. And the community of people at St. Ed's is really, made up of collaborative, compassionate, empathetic people who just want to find ways to better the world around them. So no matter what your faith or belief system, I feel like that's a great place to spend your time being educated. Getting involved is really the best way to be a student on a campus. No matter where you end up, I'd say be aware of doing that and making a conscious effort to join things. We have over 100 student organizations. If none of those excite you, you can start your own. It's a great way to develop leadership ability, take ownership of a group, demonstrate to a future employer that you can, manage and run a team. We are D2 for sports and have those other 16 club sports. Campus rec is a big part of our campus life. Because Austin is a very active outdoors city, we like to reflect that on our campus, and we actually just renovated our gym. So you can see that on the next slide. And we are just really big on having fun as a campus. Austin is a very social and fun city, so you'll feel that on our campus too. There are concerts, festivals, petting zoos, bake sales happening throughout the year. My favorite is called Hillfest. We have a Ferris wheel and a fireworks show. So you don't have to leave campus to have fun and do some really cool stuff. So this is the rec center that I mentioned. We doubled the size of the weight room and added that glass cube up top. So the bottom left and right pictures show the weight and cardio space, and then that bottom middle is the group exercise space, for yoga, Zumba, the different, group weight classes or whatnot. And this space is really designed to be a place for students to, unplug from technology, step away from the craziness of the world right now, and drop out of their head and into their body, find a way to integrate all the different levels of health. And it's a beautiful space. It's been well utilized since it was opened. So on the living side of things, freshmen are required to live on campus. We have 6 freshman halls to choose from. Beyond your freshman year, you can live on or off campus. If you wanted to, all 4 years you could, but sometimes students want to find a little more independence in the Austin area and choose that. But while you live on campus, you can choose your hall and your roommate. Right now, we're not doing roommates, we're doing single occupancy, but for social distancing. But moving forward, depends on where we are, but you get to pick who your roommate is. So the freshman living options are what you see here. They each take their own personality. They all develop their own kind of vibe throughout the year, which is kind of cool. 2 of these halls have a living learning community component to them. Hunt and Lamons house the Natural Sciences LLC, and then Du Jourier is the honors program. So with science, you live with science-based majors, and then honors, it's a mix of majors, but you're living with students all in the honors program. And those are just designed to give you a little bit more overlap with the students around you, like a class or research opportunity that might happen all together. But no matter where you choose to live, they're all really beautiful, well-equipped dorms. And then once you get to be an upperclassman, they move into more of an apartment style. So some of them are kind of like a pod feel, and others are like a true 2-bedroom, 2-bath. Campus is only like a 15-minute walk from one side to the other, so it's not huge. It's not hard to navigate. We have 2 dining halls, 2 or 3 coffee shops. One of them is like a grab and go kind of place. There is laundry, library, Wi-Fi everywhere. So kind of all of your needs can be met without having to leave campus. And like I said, being engaged in the community that you're in is really important. My freshman year, I was kind of afraid of everyone, and I made the mistake of staying in my room until like October, and then realized that I had no friends. And I was like, I should probably go talk to people. So I would say, talk to people, hang out in the common room, play ping pong, play pool, be engaged, and go to the things that your RA puts on, because that's your first community at St. Ed's, and it's usually the people that you're going to be friends with for your whole time. So when it comes to using your time at St. Ed's to prep for the, career world, 90% of our students will have some kind of hands-on learning, internship, study abroad, research, something beyond just the classroom study. And students make really great connections that turn into job opportunities. 90% of our students within a year of graduation are in some sort of graduate program or in a service capacity or employed, or sometimes several of those. So our students really use their 4 years or 2, 3, 4 years, however long they're with us, to prepare, develop the skills that they need to really know where they want to go, and make those connections as a student. So once they graduate, they're ready to launch. We have 200 employers that come to campus every year with part-time, full-time, and internship work. So we've kind of done some of the legwork for you in bringing you those opportunities. These are a few places our students pretty consistently go to work. Austin is a very tech-heavy city, but tech isn't the only industry that's needed. I have a friend who works at Whole Foods in the graphic design department, so different disciplines can overlap. And if you're not necessarily wanting to go to work yet, if you're wanting to go to grad school, if you're on a pre-professional track like law or medical, these are a few places our students have gone on to do those. Even though we're a small university, we don't lack in connections or the ability for students to be competitive in applying to these programs. So you get the benefit of these small school hands-on opportunities, but aren't missing out on any of the other connections that you might have somewhere else. So when it comes time to apply, we take 3 modes of application: our own St. Ed's app, Common App, and Apply Texas. So whatever you're already using, that is great. We have no preference. We are rolling admission, so it means when you apply to us, we read and respond on a more consistent, fluid basis. If you do apply by December 1st, we will waive your application fee. You're automatically looked at for merit, scholarships, and the honors program. And as of fall 21, we are test optional. So that means truly test optional. There's no benefit, there's no disadvantage to submitting or not submitting. It's just another facet of your application. So if you feel like that is what you want to submit, please do. Don't feel like you're missing out if you don't. On the financial side of things, we just upped our scholarship range from it's now $14,000 to $26,000 annually. So whatever amount you get your freshman year, say you're awarded $20,000, that's your renewable amount for 4 years. The average student last year got around $32,000 of aid, so there's a good amount of assistance to go around. And in addition to, I said this, every student has a team of people. The advising and success coach, you have a financial aid advisor who is assigned to you for all 4 years. You can reach out to them now with questions if you want. So they are your point of contact for all things money. This is our team. I am up top right. That's my email and phone. You can reach me with any questions. I am the admission counselor for your school. So I'm your point of contact, but honestly, you can reach out to anybody and find where you are wanting to go. If you just have any general admission questions, you can reach us at seu.admit@Steadwards. And all of this is on the website and easy to find if you lose it at some point. But we are all very eager and willing to help answer any questions you have. Here are the financial aid advisors. So you can scan, figure out whose yours is, and you don't have to be a student yet. Like I said, you can reach out and ask them questions now. They can help you with all things FAFSA, change of income, if COVID has impacted your family. There's a lot of different ways to chat with them and see how St. Ed's can be of assistance to you. Financial Aid does a webinar every Wednesday at 4, just covering the basics of financial aid, how to complete your FAFSA, which is very important. So if you want to tune into that and get a little bit more info from them, that would be great. And we are also on a platform called Zeme. It's a social networking app for college students. So it's a place that you can chat with current St. Edward's freshmen and prospective students and figure out why someone chose St. Ed's or why someone is looking at St. Ed's, and get sort of a real world take on how people feel about, choosing St. Edward's. So I would say if you have any curiosities about us, majors, visit programs, I would say start on our website. We're in the process of trying to launch in-person visits again. We're currently all virtual in our visit capacity, but hopefully going to be launching some sort of on-campus in-person tour. For now, all virtual, so easy to access. And social media is a great place to see kind of our university personality shine through if you're curious about different clubs or teams, but that is a good place to start.